Hey guys, welcome back to a new video. So, it's a couple weeks into 2018. It's been super cold and super nasty, but as you can see, all of the snow is finally melting and it's not crazy cold out here. I know some of you all that live in much colder climates are probably laughing at me, but I hate the cold. I hate being out in the garage and working when it's freezing cold. Anyway, I've got a little bit of free time. Decided I wanted to come out here in the garage and get a couple of things done. Originally, I wanted to do some body work, but it still is pretty cold outside. And I don't know if anybody has ever tried messing with body work when it's cold. Really kind of screws things up. So it takes a lot longer for for filler to cure. So I decided to not do that. But since it is 2018 and it's the beginning of a new year, I think it's finally time to get this car looking like a car again. So the plan this weekend is to get the front fenders, the rear trunk lid, and also the doors back onto the car. Now keep in mind, this is by far final assembly, so we still have a lot more to do before everything permanently gets put back on the car. I've read and I've heard and I've talked to some other people who do body work professionally, and they say it is better to block everything when it's on the car, just so everything is nice and smooth and straight when everything is mounted. That's my kind of thought process. I would do block sanding of each individual panel, but I think it'll be a little bit better if we can actually get all the panels mounted back on the car and then block from there. So we've got a lot to do in a little bit of time, so let's go ahead and get started. Alright guys, so the trunk is mounted back onto the car and it sits pretty good, as you can tell. Gaps might not be perfect, but again, this is just mock-up, so we can start blocking the car. But the hinge works. So, definitely progress. Let's move on to the doors. But what do we have here? Oh yes. Brand spanking new hinges for the doors. So I'm super excited about these hinges. My old ones were worn out, and if you've owned an AE86 or know anything about them, you know after a while the doors start to sag because the hinges start to give out. So new hinges is a big plus. I am super excited to get them on the car. Let's see how the doors line up. guys, so it's the next day and I'm back out here in the garage and I want to try and get the other side of the car done, all the panels mounted back onto the AE86. So this side turned out great. Everything lined up pretty well. I've got a little bit of differences in panel gap and things aren't lining up 100%, but these are also just kind of temporarily mocked up. I just want to get everything on the car, and then I'm going to try and dial in all the gaps and try and get everything to sit correctly. And I'll show you some of the little issues that I've run into, and I don't really know exactly how to fix them. I'll have to do a little bit of looking online. I know some of it probably has to do with the hinges and how they've been adjusted, but everything lines up pretty good for the most part. But I'll show you kind of the imperfections that I've noticed so far. Alright, so as you can see, this gap right here is actually pretty good. I have a little bit of a difference between this line and this line. I don't know if you can see it on camera, but this side's just a little bit higher than that side. I also have an issue back here. This gap as well is almost, I think, pretty much perfect. I mean, everything lines up really nicely, except for right here. So I've got a little bit of an issue where the bottom portion of this door kind of sticks out a little more, I think, for whatever reason. And it could be that the hinges up there, maybe I just need to adjust one of those screws to kind of pull that bottom portion in a little bit more. Other than that, everything else turned out pretty well. The trunk as well looks pretty good, except it is a different shade than all of the other panels, probably because this piece, when I painted it, I don't think I mixed the paint up quite right. So it definitely came out a little bit more glossy than all the other pieces. And then also I've noticed a couple of imperfections on this trunk still. This thing's a beast to get straight. It was all sorts of warped and messed up. So this piece, I don't know. I have been toying with the idea of maybe going with a carbon fiber trunk lid. I don't know. We'll see what happens. But other than that, everything lines up pretty well. The gaps are good over there, and the gaps are pretty good on this side too. So with that being said, let's move on to the other side of the car and get the fender and door mounted on that side. Also, before I start, I know when I was mounting these panels back on the car, I used some really old, rusty, nasty hardware. Most of that stuff is going to get replaced. So the hinges are obviously brand new, and I am gonna get new hinges for the hood as well, which I haven't gotten yet. I'm also gonna get new hardware. So all of that rusty nastiness is going to be taken care of. Just right now, I've got everything mounted up just so I can see what it looks like with everything back on the car. Alright guys, that's it for this video. The AE86 actually kind of looks like an AE86 again. Woo! It may not seem like much, but this car has been in a million pieces for quite some time. So to get to this point, it's actually a pretty significant point in the build. Of course, I ran into some fitment issues with some of these panels, which I expected was going to happen. Again, this is temporary mock-up. Probably next video I'll dial all the gaps in and actually measure them. That way, when we start block sanding, everything comes out nice and smooth. There are a couple of areas that I'm a little confused on what to do fitment-wise, and I'll show some of those real quick just so I can get your all's feedback and opinions on what you think I should do. So I've already gone over a couple of issues that I ran into on the other side of the car. This side was a little bit more difficult to get right. I think one of my big problems with this side is this car was wrecked at some point in time, and this quarter panel has been replaced. Unfortunately, I don't think it was actually replaced the proper way, or it was just kind of thrown together at whatever body shop it was at. Because of that, it kind of threw off some of the gaps and some of the fitment of these panels. The biggest issue over on this side is this gap right here. Gap-wise, it looks pretty great, but the issue that we're running into is this quarter panel actually sticks out further than the door. It's going to look a little worse on camera, but if I lean in here, you can see the quarter panel sticks out quite a bit more than the door. But down here, it's like perfect. So I don't know, it's really just looks like this section right here is just bowed out a little bit more than the other side. Again, this could be issues with the door hinges, and I might just have to tweak them a little bit to get everything to sit properly. And this gap is pretty good as well. And it actually fits almost perfect. So again, I'm not 100% sure what to do with this door because it fits good, but not good enough. Another big problem that I had with this particular door is it looks like at some point in time some weight had been applied to this portion of the door, so that top portion actually sits lower than the top of the car here. There's quite a bit of a difference right there, a drop. And as you can see, this piece of metal is almost touching the roof of the car. Over on the other side, there's a lot more space there. Other than those two areas, this side turned out pretty good. But anyway, those are the issues I ran into, and I'm sure we'll work through them as this build progresses. And real quick, before I go, I just wanted to touch base on a topic that's kind of important in the YouTube realm right about now, and I'm sure some of you all probably know what I'm going to talk about. So some of you all may not know, YouTube is changing their partner program requirements for monetization on videos. At first when I heard this news, I was pretty upset because it does affect me. I haven't quite hit that threshold of 1,000 subscribers, but we're getting close. But anyway, I was a little upset because, you know, even though I don't make a lot of money on my videos that I post here, the money that I do get from ad revenue goes directly back into this channel to hopefully make it a little bit more entertaining for you all and to up the quality of the videos. It sucks that now I'm not going to be able to do that until I reach that threshold, but in all reality, you know, I wasn't making a lot of money anyway. And to me, you know, if these rules discourage spam channels and discourage questionable content from actually putting ads on their videos and then advertisers getting mad and not paying anybody altogether, then I don't know, maybe this is an okay idea. I'm not saying I'm all 100% for it. I'm not saying I'm 100% against it. I don't know, it's a really weird situation, and I know it does suck for those smaller channels, but I just want to say, keep at it. Keep doing these videos, you know, keep with your projects, keep trying to grow your channel. As for me, I'm going to continue these videos. I'm going to post them. You know, money's not everything for me. I actually really enjoy making these videos, sharing my knowledge, and sharing my content with all of you all out there. I really hope all of you other small YouTubers out there that are watching this video do the same. Continue making content, continue putting it out there for other people, and your channel will grow. I hope this change with YouTube and their terms of service for the YouTube Partner Program is a positive thing. It sucks right now for me, and I'm sure for a lot of other channels out there that haven't quite hit that threshold, but hopefully it will turn out for the better and everybody will be able to benefit from it. And with all that being said, if you all watch small-time YouTubers and their videos and enjoy their content, please take a second to click the subscribe button, give them thumbs ups, and help them out any way that you can. I'm going to link some channels below, particularly some channels that have to do with AE86 content and other car builds that I watch and enjoy. Please take a second to go into the description, check out those channels, and if you enjoy their content, give them a thumbs up and maybe subscribe to their channel as well. Anyway, that's enough of me talking. I hope you all enjoyed this video. Please stay tuned for more AE86 content, and until next time, I'll see you later.